Welcome to the channel. Here, we provide clear, actionable insights into the complex world of tax and accounting to help your business thrive.
Social Security. It's the bedrock of retirement for millions, right? But trying to navigate all its complex rules can feel like you're walking through a minefield. So today, we're going to diffuse 4 of the most common and most expensive mistakes people make and show you exactly how to protect the benefits you've worked so hard for.
And just to give you a sense of the scale here, get this. Over 70 million Americans are currently receiving Social Security. That's a huge number of people, and every single one of them is trying to make sense of a system that is, let's be honest, notoriously complicated.
And the stakes? They are incredibly high. A few simple, totally avoidable missteps can cost the average person over $182,000 in lifetime benefits. That is a life-changing amount of money to just leave on the table. So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll dig into why these mistakes are so easy to make in the first place. Then, we'll hit the 4 biggest traps: claiming too early, something called the widow's trap, the really confusing earnings test, and the surprising overpayment trap. If you stick with us, we'll wrap it all up with how you can take control.
So, why are these huge 6-figure mistakes so common? Well, it really just boils down to one word: complexity. The Social Security system, frankly, was not designed with the user in mind.
I mean, to put it in perspective, the system is governed by more than 2,700 different rules. The official handbook? It's over 20,000 pages long. So yeah, it's no surprise that without a guide, people get lost and make these really costly errors.
And this is exactly why experts like Boston University's Lawrence Kotlikoff have a pretty stark warning. He says, do not rely on the Social Security Administration's advice. You have to study this for yourself. Taking ownership is the name of the game, and that's exactly what we're here to help you do.
All right, that brings us to the first and by far the most common mistake: claiming your benefits at the earliest possible moment, which is age 62. It's so tempting to get that money flowing, but trust me, that decision comes with a very heavy and very permanent price tag.
Let's just look at the numbers. If your full retirement age is 67, claiming at 62 means your benefits are permanently slashed by up to 30%. But if you can just wait until you're 70, you actually get a bonus, boosting your benefit to 108% for the rest of your life. That's a massive difference in your total retirement income. And here's the really critical part you have to understand. This decision is pretty much irreversible. You get a little 12-month window to change your mind and withdraw your application. After that, you are locked in. What's really alarming is that sometimes the SSA itself advises people to claim early based on old, outdated life expectancy data, and that suggestion can cost people a fortune.
Okay, this next mistake, it's a really tough one because it often happens during a time of incredible grief. It's known as the widow's trap, and it's a critical detail to understand when we're talking about survivor benefits.
So when a spouse passes away, the surviving spouse can choose between taking their own retirement benefit or taking the survivor benefit from their late spouse. You're entitled to whichever one is higher. Now, that sounds simple, right? But this is exactly where the trap is hidden.
Here's the danger. The survivor benefit might be the higher payment today, but your own retirement benefit continues to grow every year you wait, all the way up to age 70. So if you take the survivor benefit now, you could be locking yourself into a smaller payment for life and giving up the much larger benefit you could have had by waiting. The key is you have to project your own benefit's future growth before making this permanent choice.
All right, mistake number 3. This one comes from a huge misunderstanding that actually causes people to leave the workforce prematurely. It's all about a rule called the earnings test.
So what in the world is the earnings test? Well, basically, it's a rule that only applies if you claim your benefits before your full retirement age, while you're still working. If your income goes over a certain limit, the SSA temporarily holds back some of your benefit money. For example, let's look at the 2023 numbers. The income limit was just over $21,000. For every $2 you earned above that amount, the SSA would withhold $1 in benefits. Now, this is where people get tripped up. They see this and think it's a tax or some kind of penalty for working. But that's not what's really going on.
And here it is, the crucial piece everyone misunderstands. That money they withhold, it isn't gone forever. The moment you hit your full retirement age, the SSA recalculates everything and adds that money back in, which gives you a higher monthly payment for the rest of your life. See, it's a delay, not a penalty. Knowing this means you don't have to stop working if you don't want to.
All right, our 4th and final mistake is a weird one. because this one actually starts with an error that the Social Security Administration makes, but you're the one who ends up with the bill.
This might be hard to believe, but every single year, the SSA overpays more than 1 million people just because of clerical errors. The real shock comes when, sometimes years down the road, you get a letter demanding you repay tens of thousands of dollars you had no idea you weren't even supposed to get.
So, if this ever happens to you, the first thing to do is do not panic. The SSA might demand you pay it all back in 30 days, but you have rights. Your first move should be to request written proof of the debt and then immediately work to arrange a repayment plan that actually fits your budget. Their mistake doesn't have to become your financial crisis.
Okay, so we've walked through these common traps. What's the ultimate takeaway? It's really simple. When it comes to your Social Security, you are your own best advocate. Being proactive and informed is the only way to guarantee your financial security.
So let's just recap these 4 keys. First, delaying your claim is the single most powerful tool you have to boost your benefit. Second, run the numbers carefully, so carefully, before choosing a survivor benefit. Third, remember the earnings test is a delay, it's not a penalty for working. And fourth, know your rights in case you ever get one of those scary overpayment notices.
So, we'll leave you with this question. You've worked your entire life for these benefits. The system, yeah, it's complex, for sure, but knowledge is power. By just avoiding these common mistakes, you can make sure you get every single dollar you've earned. So are you confident you have a plan?